Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well and having a wonderful, glorious day. And yeah, we are 7 weeks out, 14 weeks into the prep, 7 weeks away from the 30th of May, the big day. And yeah, I'm a little bit stressed. I'm a little bit worried about it. I know, the weight has not been going down the way I'd like it to. It's been quite frustrating. In that regard, you can see on the screen below, it's about 93.8, 93.9 there, about. Last weigh-in was 94.2. Still got to peel off quite a bit more body fat. And as I mentioned in my last video, still very much stage fat. So that hasn't changed, but the visuals are getting better every single week. As per the coaches, as per everybody, looking at me. But, when you're in the whole prep and things like that, you sort of get blindness. You can't see your own physique, sort of a thing. You can't really tell the difference. But there are moments where I do have a look at it and say, okay, cool, you know what? I do see a bit more vascularity. I do see more veins appearing. And things should be moving in the right direction. And every now and then I grab a tape measure and just measure out my waist and just see that that's going down. So my biggest issue, like many men out there, is lower abdomen fat. It is an absolute grind to get rid of that fat. And this is where a lot of guys tend to break. They just give up. You start seeing the abs on the top, and then you think to yourself, oh, well, I'll be fine and this and that. And it's just too hard. This process, unfortunately, is just time. It's grinding it out and putting more time in, putting more effort in, and just being consistent with what needs to be done. And that's where the grind comes in, because it gets really taxing doing the same thing over and over again. And there's only a small little bit of progress that comes through, and you don't want to go to the extreme now and cut more calories and put more cardio and things like that, because you're just going to burn yourself out. And that's probably the biggest thing to be worried about, is that you don't want to burn yourself out in this process. So I was just checking my mic was connected this time. I don't want to go through the whole process again. So yeah, look, that's the thing right now. So pushing forward, the strength hasn't really dropped off, thankfully. So quite happy about that. And things are moving nicely there. We're looking at different ways of getting the body fat off, different cardio techniques. Looking at using a yohimbine to help with the stubborn body fat. So if you don't know what yohimbine is, it is in some countries is banned, not all countries. But it basically releases the fat from being allowing it to get burnt up. It is a natural product, but it's quite a potent product, so you got to be very careful, especially if you got to get it in the States, and not a lot of people sell the real stuff. So that's just something to be cautious about. So we are doing that with fasted cardio, and that's fasted cardio first thing in the morning. And yeah, that's been a bit of a grind. It's been a bit difficult to implement those changes and get up early every single morning, go do cardio, come back, get the pre-workout meal in, drop my daughter off at school, then go to the gym, come back. Actually, don't come back, do posing, then come back, get yourself sorted out, get another meal in, and then start client check-ins, and you're feeling absolutely drained because you just run through the ring and you still got 14,000 steps to get across that same day. So walking around the gym is a big help when it comes to getting your daily steps in. You see a lot of guys starting to do it now. They just walk around the machines or whatever the case would be, and that's just to get your steps in. And it's just something that I have to do otherwise I'll never get my steps in. Otherwise it's long walks, etc. And then to make things even worse, my treadmill walking pad has actually gone kaputski. So I'm going to try and fix that this weekend, just see if I can get that sorted out. But yeah, it's not the best way of getting things going, but it is what it is. We push forward. Diversity is there to make us stronger, and that's what we're going to be challenging for there. So that's pretty much it. Posing has been going well. We had to make some changes to the posing routine, and I'm just getting used to the actual changes now. So it's starting to come together quite nicely. Jack, the posing coach, is happy with how things are progressing. Obviously still wants a little bit more. We are I'm being pedantic more than he is, to be honest with you, about certain things and tightening up here and doing this and doing that. So, yeah, look, like I said, we're moving forward. We continue to progress as much as we can. Now, a lot of things what's been happening a lot with my clients recently is a lot of digestion talk, and in particular constipation. So, there's a lot of reasons why you're going to get constipated. And, the first port of call that most people go is like, oh, I got to get more fiber. I got to get more fiber. And then they go take something like Psyllium husk, and then they get even worse. They back themselves up. So fiber is not always the problem. All right. So if you are a man, you need to be eating around about 30 grams of fiber a day. If you are a lady, you need to be doing around about 15 grams of fiber a day. So if you're hitting those sort of numbers, then you're in a good position. Okay. Sometimes digestion and constipation is more to do with what's going on with your stomach acid or to do with actual bile flow. So there are different things you need to be checking on those sort of things. So constipation can and especially like hard stools, that can definitely be, stomach acid related. So you need to be looking at something like a beta-10 ACI to help generate more stomach acid and help break down the food a lot more. Funnily enough, if you're getting heartburn, it can also be a sign of low stomach acid. It means that the esophagus at the top of the stomach is not closing, and then other chemicals or processes are leaking up leaking up, and then you're getting that heartburn sensation with that acidic sensation. So having more stomach acid, you actually need a certain amount of stomach acid to actually trigger that esophagus to close. If you don't have enough of it, you have the stomach acid that is there leaking up and then causing the heartburn, basically. So that's just something to bear in mind. The other big thing is bile flow. You need to make sure that that's going on. A lot of guys will start going to the toilet, for example. Hey, I hit the bathroom 3 times a day, and they're thinking that's a win. That's probably a sign that your bile is not actually where it needs to be. So that's something you need to actually go and check out. Strongly recommend that if your stool color is like a cardboard color, then I'd be concerned about my bile flow. It could be very sticky. And the problem with the bile flow, if it starts becoming a big problem, then you start getting gallstones, and then you have to get your gallbladder, big pardon, removed and things like that. So you've got to be careful. You've got to be mindful about these things. Too little is a problem. Too much is a problem. So if you're not going to the bathroom and you don't, and that's the other thing, like, what is constipation? Constipation is not about the length of time that you're gone. So generally, you don't want to be going like longer than 3 days without having a bowel movement. And when you're in a cut, that is normal because you're eating less food and you're processing more of that food. So to be out for that long is not the end of the world. But if it's longer than that, then yes, there's a sign of concern. But if you feel heavy and you're not going to the toilet, that's constipation. If it's just a time thing, that's not real constipation. So always keep that in mind. Quick tips that you can do for constipation sort of things: eat pears. Pears are fantastic to help you with that. It pulls a lot of water into the digestive tract and it just helps things move along a lot quickly. So having that at night is always a good idea. Having a large pear, so about 150 grams worth of pear, will make life much easier for you. Papaya will also help quite a bit and things like that. So look for natural remedies before you start going for fibers and laxatives and things like that. So that's just something to bear in mind. And that's just something I've been dealing with a lot with this week. Also, another thing I've been getting a lot of comments about is peptides. Do I know about peptides and all that sort of things? Yes, I do. Recently we did certifications on peptides. So I do have a very strong understanding on peptides and the ones that work, ones that you probably should avoid and things along those lines. So, there are some very interesting ones out there. I've tried quite a few of them. And there are some that work really, really well. And there's some that is, for me anyway, but I can give that a skip. I probably won't go back to that one anytime soon. But yeah, peptides. Look, if you're using peptides like a GLP-1, I've said it many times, I do not have a problem with people using GLP-1 drugs. If that's something that you need and you feel that you have to do something with the GLP-1 to get you to the result because you are battling, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But don't think that GLP-1 or any of these peptides are going to solve all of your problems. They're not going to just magically make things better. And that's what a lot of people get wrong. They don't do the diets. They don't do the workouts, they don't do any of the hard work, because the GLP-1 is there to make things a lot easier, but the habits and discipline still needs to be there. You need to be changing what you're doing. If you're just going ahead and saying, oh, I'm just going to continue as I was, as soon as you come off the peptides, or you come off GLP-1, guess what? You're going to be right back in a problem where you start putting on all that body fat again, without a doubt. So working with a coach to get you to that place is really, really important, or working with people to get you to that place is really, really important. So please, if you are interested in working with someone who has experience with clients with peptides and also himself, reach out. I'm more than happy to help you out. I've got a blueprint version where I can just do a quick report based on your physique and your needs, and then you can just run it with it on your own, or you can work with me and then I'll help you through the whole process. So if you get the blueprint, basically that's really quick. I do the whole diet, exercise routine and things like that for you. And if you decide you want to work with me after that, we can give you the discounts from that first month from what you paid for the blueprint, and in that first month that you work with me gets discounted, and then we carry on working from there. So that's something just to bear in mind. Very, very important that you get guided on how to come off of it and how to maintain what you've worked so hard for, and not to lose a lot of muscle mass and become skinny fat. So just wanted to put that out there. It is really, really important that you follow a healthy lifestyle moving forward, because if you don't do it, you're just going to end up getting skinny fats, getting even worse than when you started. And that's when you see the Ozempic face and all that other good stuff. So there's that. Other GLPs that are, other peptides that are out there that are making the rounds is the BPC 157 and TB 500. Really, really good for recovery. Very, very helpful if you are injured or if you're going into surgery or recovering from surgery. It can be quite useful. But, this is all, I'm not a doctor. I can't give you any medical advice on these sort of things. This is just anecdotal things that I've seen, and this is purely for educational purposes and entertainment purposes. So take it with that. But the BPC 157 and TB 500, we have seen guys do really, really well from a recovery perspective using those peptides. Tesamorelin, which is the only FDA approved peptide, also does very, very well for visceral fat. But again, if you're using tesamorelin just to get rid of the visceral fat and you're not changing your lifestyle, you're going to be in trouble. So, I wouldn't do it that way. Make sure that you're doing everything properly and get yourself sorted out when it comes to your health long term, basically. Right. So anyone wants to reach out about peptides or anything along those lines, please do not hesitate to ask. I will be more than happy to answer those questions. And yeah, that's going to be me for today. If there's anything else you guys can think of, you want to ask me a question, you want something educational, you want me to do a full day of eating, whatever the case may be, put it down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, follow, and yeah, looking forward to doing this again as time ticks away. 7 weeks to go. Yeah, it's moving. 6 weeks ago, everyone. Things are moving. Things are moving very quickly. Anyway, take care. God bless. And always remember to put your